Hey guys, so last video we made some armor, and this video we're gonna make we're gonna make stuff happen with these where are they? Procedures. With a procedure, you can make stuff move or give effects, or make enchantments do stuff, or make TNT explode the second you place it. Whatever you want. Now, those of you who are just Minecrafters, there are there are blocks, and I think the ones that and I think some of them, and I think there is a way to make them to do Java, to code them in Java, but create new procedure. A camel, okay, Ruby help us. Let's go. So there's a lot of things, but most of it is simple. Let's start with block. Most of these are simple. You can get block, all these, but first we'll do the basic. See, these blocks attach. All of these blocks have these things on the side. That means they're data. Let's say, but like these, this is not data. This is data. It's the value of variable. This is not data. You can put data, to get this, and put a data in, and put a data inside it, but you can't put a data here. Get it? So let's start with this. Let's the block is multi-placed. This is no glow when triggered by external call. Like if we put in the block thing, when block placed, then it runs. You can also do this where it happens every time whatever you select happens. Cool. There all of these are data and blocks to do things, but and then world data, world management, Minecraft components, just X, Y, Z of target entity, event target entity. Event/target entity is the entity that it runs on. So if it's place a block, event target entity is the person who places the block. source entity is if a player hits another player with a sword or something, then that player who does the hitting is the source entity, and the player who is hit is the event target entity. If you shoot a arrow at another player, the player that gets hurt is the event target entity. You are the source entity, and the arrow is the immediate source entity. And the iterator. And then these are all just different stuff that you variables. They're pretty cool. Templates. We can go set. Yeah, there's a warning. I forgot how to make a cut. Oh. And then we just go and variable name, let's say test. And then these are all different things. A number is just a number. A string is the programming word for text. Item stack is an item in someone's inventory. Logic is logic. Entity is a specific entity. Direction is a cardinal direction or a mix, like in northeast, southwest. Block state is the state of a block. I'll go with number because that's the simplest. All right. We can just. Zero. Set. Test. All right. Blue numbers require that. Wait, what? Blue. Yeah, set local test. Also in the workspace, we can make global variables, which are the same across every single function thingy we make. I forget the name of these procedures. We can set that to 0, and then if we go flow control, we can do repeat, get local test times. So that's a little complicated. Flow control is all the things that do flows. So if you can click here and add an else if, add an else if, maybe another else if, and an else at the end. You can also drag them over there. If then else is just this, but in a data form. Also, by the way, all blocks, including data, can be turned into if you right click them, external output. So now they're like this, sometimes useful, sometimes not. Also, if they have like a million, trillion things in them, you can collapse block into that. Still the same data, but simpler for the human reader. Just repeats data times. While repeats data times. Break out of loop is actually pretty cool. Break out of requires a loop. Like while true break out of loop, which is like this will loop until break out of loop shoots you back up here. Then continue with next iteration is like we can put a ton of code below this, like a ton of world management code. Plays on server side, blah, blah, blah. Now continue with next iteration of. Now this one really only makes sense inside a logical if. So if it's made another variable type. Logic is a true or false variable, I think. So we'll go variable. So we go and test. So we go bonk. Now we can go get local bonk. Use schematic on block place schematics is not defined. Yeah. Then this is just test code. Don't worry about how complicated it is. We'll go over that stuff in the far future. But continue with next. Now this one if we put the code this thing after it. Now if get local bonk is true, then it'll skip this and go right to the next. If it's false, it'll keep going and go to here. Basically a different way of saying if not. But also math, we have round add, or not just add, random between 0 and 1, just, or not always random. You can do random stud, pi, e, infinity, negative infinity, not a number, all the crazy math stuff that you're probably never gonna know. These are the plain numbers. These are add, subtract, divide, mod, bitwise and, bitwise or, bitwise XOR, min max. So yeah. Round up, rounds to the nearest integer, round up, round to the next highest integer, round down or floor, round down to the nearest integer, square roots, cube root. So these are all the math things that require just one number. Sin, rad to dag, all that stuff who nobody knows. All number from text. That one is complicated. Now, in Java and JavaScript, there's a specific way to go from that text turns into number and number turns to text. Number from text is pretty complicated, but usually you only do it if you have the string one and you want to turn it into the number one or something. Random between min and max included means 1 and 10 means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. Random number between min and max is just 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Logic, all these logical stuff, equals, block slash item equals, is block the same block as block, is block the same block state as block, is event target entity sub no entry selected, yeah. Flow control, all the complex flow control stuff, returns a value to whoever is calling the variable. All the return stuff, usually used for functions, but text, just text, create text with. These are like adding the two texts together into one text. We can also add more items, and or turn it. Nobody likes it in inline outputs, but yeah, you can do it. Then we can do text. Length of gives you a number of how long the text is. Substring, all this stuff. Printed on the screen. Format number is pretty complicated, but if you go, it's basically rounding. If you go a really, really complicated number like pi, then and we format it into hashtag means one. Hashtag is how you start. That means single number. Hashtag means 10, I think. I don't know how this works that well. If we go .hashtag, that means we're allowing one decimal, 2 decimals, 3 decimals, 4 decimals, but it won't be infinitely long like pi is. Pretty formatting. Log print just printed onto the screen. Well, if none of these do what you want, you can always do execute commands. Commands can often do more than the blocks do, but date and time. Seconds past current minutes, minutes past current hour of day, day of current week, week of current year, day of current month, current year. Time as text is data that puts the current time as text. Time as formatted text. And time as formatted text, meaning same thing, but it's formatted as year, minute, day. Or you could do year, day, minute. Also, it's like we only allow four year digits, 2 minute digits, and 2 day digits. Useful if you don't want your screen overflowing. And all that stuff. I'm back. So let's save the previous clip. now we can do the mcreator link are really complicated. They link a they access they link a thing to your computer and make you open it up in your app in your web browser. That's really complicated and advanced. No entity, all this stuff, all the super advanced stuff. Anyway, now that that's done, I'll time lapse as I delete these variables and make a real procedure where Ruby Armor is special because it knocks the player that hits you into the air. Okay, this should be it. If you're wearing the chest plate, you shoot up into the air. I use a lot of ChatGPT for this. But save mod elemental, and now we have the mod element. However, let's go into the Ruby Armor. And here is triggers. Now we can trigger all we have is tick events. If all we have is tick events, we'll have to do this differently. Entity is hurt. And now the source it just shoots. So what should happen, I'm not sure it will happen, is the event target entity will be shot up in. If an enemy tries to hurt you, it'll be shot up into the air. But save mod elemental and console. All the Gradle. By the way, these are the Gradle tasks, like export stop Gradle, this thing, all this stuff. But the common thing to do is one game, Gradle, one client, executing Gradle task, one client. So just let's go. Some editing. So technical difficulties will be PHP. Difficulties will be back in. Thank you for the fish. What? Test. Multiple times. Times. Almost in. Joining world. What the? Oh, what the? Okay, that was weird. How's that? I don't know what's causing all this lag, but something incorrect is happening. What the? Let's debug. First step. What does the trigger before enemy is hurt do? Cancel before it's done. What if I shoot the one that would do damage into the air? Shoot the one that would do damage into the air. Into the air. Into the air. It does hitting and dealing damage, like just looking at that blast. Be talking at the launch. There. Okay, that should work. It'll work differently than expected, but that should work. I have the armor. Wait, oh, I know. What is the helmet armor slot value? Oh, 2. 2. Okay, save mod element. I was checking for a chest plate in the helmet slot. That would not work out. Anyway. Deflecting into the snow. Okay, B, daddy, daddy, nani. Go to a test. gonna turn it to oh, right. Yep. Let's even survive a hit. So it's hitting. Okay. Now you need feather falling 4 to survive. Survive hitting a man with ruby armor. Kinda crazy. Kinda crazy. Feather falling. Yep. I think this might be a little too much. I'll edit it later. The damage is not. The thing is, the damage. I don't want to hit. Thing is, the damage is still. So it works. It works well. The damage is still applied. The damage is still applied, so it still needs to eat, but it's a lot better against multiple Let's see if I can do this without hitting a single This was fun. Next video will be how to make a block like a grindstone that doesn't have that's not a physical that's not a block, but goodbye. I think this was my longest video yet.